Chapter 21. The Last Rites. The last words.
Hey now, is that some kind of subliminal message?
I suppose it could be. What I mean is that if you choose a career as a truck driver and wind up hating it, you may wish you were dead. We've all had jobs that we've hated. Life is just too short to do a job that you'll dread doing day after day. To avoid that fate, you must do as much research as possible before entering any new career, but even more so in trucking. Not only is it a career change, it's a complete lifestyle change. And that lifestyle doesn't just affect you, it affects your whole family. Hopefully this book has given you a glimpse into the world of trucking. I know that you probably have plenty of questions that went unanswered. Had I gone into detail about every aspect of trucking, this book would have probably been longer than War and Peace, and no one would have bothered listening to it. So don't end your search here. Get on the web, talk to truckers, talk to recruiters, talk to your brother-in-law's cousin's trucker grandpa, talk to your kids, definitely talk to your spouse if you've got one, talk to yourself. That's a sign of insanity in old age, you know. If you need to reread or re-listen to this book, do so. Just remember to hear the bad parts along with the good. Make sure you don't glamorize trucking in your mind because there's absolutely nothing glamorous about it. You may even want to make a list of trucking pros and cons. Do whatever it takes to make a wise and well thought out decision so you don't wind up with a job you hate worse than Monday morning rush hour after Super Bowl Sunday. Maybe after listening to this book, your current job doesn't sound so bad. Maybe it looks even worse. One of the biggest reasons that you want to be sure about trucking before you get into it is that once you start trucking, you may have a hard time ever working for a boss that breathes down your neck again. There have been times when I literally didn't speak to my fleet manager for over a week. If everything is running smoothly, you can easily communicate all the relevant load information by satellite. Most of the time, it feels like I don't even have a boss. And trust me, that's going to make it really hard for the evil overlord and me to ever work for anyone else again. So be careful what you get into. No matter what career path you decide on, I hope you find a job that you love. I'm being a bit hypocritical here because I certainly don't love trucking, but I don't hate everything about it either. If you wind up driving a truck and loving it, that's great. The industry needs good drivers and always will. If the job's not for you, well, that's fine too. At least you figured out you'd hate truck driving before you wasted your valuable time, effort, and money pursuing it. Again, I really hope this book has helped to give you some insight into a trucker's lifestyle. If it helped you, drop me a line at abouttruckdriving@gmail.com and let me know. If you think it's a worthless pile of steaming rhinoceros dung, let me know that also. Furthermore, if you have questions, comments, or suggestions, I'd love to hear from you about that too. Okay, it's time for one last sales pitch. Be sure to keep an eye out on abouttruckdriving.com for further books. If you do eventually pursue a job driving a truck, I think you'll find How to Find a Great Truck Driving Job to be quite useful in your job search. You know, I really hope you enjoyed reading or listening to this book as much as I enjoyed writing it. It sure felt good to be able to use my brain for something constructive for a change of pace. And it sure beats staring at miles of mind-numbing road for hours on end and thinking of grasshopper physics. Well, I'm out of here. I believe I heard the evil overlord mumble the words dumbass. Dang it, I bet I left the friggin' shower curtain open again. See you in the emergency room.
We hope you have enjoyed this audiobook. If you did, please consider writing a quick review wherever you bought it. For more from this author, check out the Trucker Dump podcast. It can be found in the iTunes Store, on the Stitcher and TuneIn radio apps, on Podcast Gallery, in the Microsoft and BlackBerry podcast directories, or at abouttruckdriving.com, or simply search for Trucker Dump in your favorite podcast app. If you'd like to contact Todd, he can be reached by email at abouttruckdriving@gmail.com, or he's at Todd McCann on Twitter. That's 2 D's, 2 C's, and 2 N's. This book was written, recorded, and produced by Todd McCann. Copyright 2014. All rights reserved.